President Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, is holding a rally today in his hometown of Middletown, Ohio. It's outside of Cincinnati. It is the Trump campaign's first official event since President Biden dropped out of the race. NewsNation's Robert Sherman is there for us live at this hour. Robert, good morning to you. So what's the Trump campaign saying about the change atop the Democratic ticket right now? How's that being received on the campaign trail?
Yeah, the message is rather short but sweet here, Marni, is that from their perspective, it makes no difference who is atop the ticket, and they are ready to go. We've been following the Trump campaign for a few weeks now, and they have been watching as all of this plays out on the other side of the situation here. But you will have noticed that in recent weeks, the Trump campaign has been rather quiet. They seem to like the attention being focused on the Democrats right now and all the questions about the candidacy and what their ticket is going to be looking like here. But nevertheless, there is a lot of optimism coming out of this Trump campaign in terms of where the landscape of the race currently stands right now, especially when it comes to those major swing states and the electorates that are there. We're talking about Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, the states that are most top of mind right now. And Jason Miller, speaking with our own Blake Berman, saying that in some cases they believe that they match up just as well, if not better, assuming Kamala Harris is atop the ticket. This is what he told our own Blake Berman.
We actually do better against Kamala Harris than we do against Joe Biden. Here's the problem with Kamala Harris. Not only does she own everything from the Harris-Biden administration over this past 3.5 years, the record-setting illegal immigration. Keep in mind, she was the border czar. Everything that she was involved with has been a disaster.
You've seen some of these polls here showing a potential head-to-head matchup between former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. Part of the reason that there is so much optimism is that if you go back and look at a lot of these polling metrics, they've remained rather solid for the former president, going all the way back to February of last year, holding a degree of an advantage over Vice President Kamala Harris. That's part of the reason that there is still a lot of optimism here. They believe that their messaging matches up well in states such as Pennsylvania. There's the long-term trends there. I mean, again, that goes back all the way to February of 2023. So they feel good. And for the time being, they're just focused on the campaign trail and continuing forward, pushing their message, less focused on who's on the other side of the aisle. Marni?
Yeah, I'm just getting this in. This is from the Harris campaign. They sent out a note that said, "Take it from Republicans. They're terrified to run against Kamala Harris." So we'll leave that for you to hash out at home. Robert, one final question for you. J.D. Vance is home, right? He's in Ohio. He's talking to his constituents as now a VP nominee. What's next for him? What can we expect on the campaign trail and for Trump, for that matter?
Yeah, you can glean a bit of perspective as to exactly where J.D. Vance is going. So starting off, kicking things off in Middletown, Ohio, his hometown. This is where he officially gets sent off on the campaign trail to help the former president try and get to the White House. Look at where he's going next, though. Virginia, a state that Joe Biden carried rather handily 4 years ago. He's carried in both of the last two elections. Republicans are adamant that that is a state that is in play and one that they can put into their column. That articulates some of the optimism that the Trump campaign has at this juncture right now. And I think it's also worth noting here, Marni, is that the Republican ticket is sorted, whereas the Democratic one is not. So as Democrats continue to focus on who their nominee will be and what their strategy is going to look like, the Trump campaign is on the trail this week. J.D. Vance is in Ohio and Virginia. Donald Trump goes to North Carolina later this week. So in the interim, while the Democratic Party is figuring out their strategy, the Republicans are hitting the campaign trail to try and get a bit of a head start.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.